This program has been brought to you by Alpine Bank. Dedication you can count on and experience you can trust. Alpine Bank, member FDIC.
Welcome back to Durango TV News. I am here in the studio with Jack and Rod Turner, and they are here to talk about an event coming up on June 8th at the Henry Strater Hotel. It's called Durango Native Stories. Now, they are a sixth-generation Durango family. So tell me a little bit about the event that's going to be happening at the Strater.
Well, actually, it's a fundraiser for a project called the Lost Files Project, which is relates to my maternal grandfather. Dad has so many amazing stories and memories going from when our family first got here in 1860, and I do a lot of presentations about my other grandfather, and we thought what a great opportunity to be able to do this little program at the Strater and share these stories with the community and have a good time.
Nice, and so it's going to be some photographs. I know you're going to have a couple of different speakers.
It's a spoken presentation with images, so you'll see historic photos that go back clear to the turn of the century. If you like Durango and the history of Durango, you'll find it interesting.
Nice. And so, Rod, I know your family has been here for quite a while. When did your family first come to Durango?
1860.
So has it been pretty wild to watch Durango change over the course of your lifetime?
Oh, yeah. I feel so lucky. Oh.
It's a pretty good town, right?
Yeah, sure is.
So you guys are going to be up there together, and your sister is also going to be presenting with you as well, correct?
Right. She and Dad will be presenting together the Turner side of the story over 6 generations. Dad, tell them just for one little example of the story. Tell them about when your grandfather got shot up in Gill Gulch.
Oh, yeah. My great-grandfather had 7 or 8 boys, and maybe 1 girl. But I think it was the 3rd brother got shot in the leg up on Gill Gulch, and they cut his leg off 2 or 3 times, but he spent his whole life with 1 leg.
Wow. Those were rougher times, I'm sure.
It was a hunting accident.
Hunting accident. I was letting my imagination get wild there for a minute. So really quickly, I want to talk, because there's so many different components of this story, but one that really might interest a lot of folks out there is that you guys have a connection to Ansel Adams.
Right, and that's through my mom's dad, whose name is also Ansel. His name is Ansel Hall. He was the first chief naturalist for the National Park Service. He and Ansel Adams met in Yosemite in 1919, and Ansel Adams at the time was actually an aspiring pianist. He asked my grandfather if he knew where he could practice on a piano, and my grandfather introduced Ansel to a family that had a piano and a photography studio. And we've been family friends forever. My mom went to school with Ansel Adams' children. They went to boarding school. So it's quite a story.
So this just sounds awesome for a history buff that kind of wants a connection to all these different pieces, especially here in Southwest and out in the national parks. So it's going to be happening on June 8th at the Henry Strater Hotel.
Doors open at 7, show starts at 7:30.
And I think it is important to just reinstate that this is a fundraiser for the Lost Files Project, if you want to just speak briefly on that.
Well, basically, when my grandfather left the Park Service in 1938, he'd had a whole set of files that he ordered my uncle to hold on to for at least 25 years after his death, because he was worried that enemies would find him. Oh. And my uncle held on to them for 50 years. I finally got those back a year or 2 ago. And they just got an amazing amount of lost history from the National Park Service. And we're really excited to present this to the community.
Wonderful. So if you're interested in history, this is going to be an amazing event. Make sure you get your tickets in advance. Like we said, it's happening June 8th at the Henry Strater Theatre. It is Durango Native Stories, so make sure you check it out. Rod and Jack, thank you so much for being with me this morning, and we've got more Durango TV News coming up after this.